Yay. Okay, recording is on. And then I need to pull up the presentation. Just give me a, I'll pull up the presentation. Let me new window. Close this. Okay, and view slideshow. That's the slideshow. Yes. Now back here, share screen. Yes. Share audio. There you go. Yay, got it all done. But took a little bit longer than planned. Okay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the Saturday meetups. Some of you have met before online, and there are a couple of new faces. So, welcome to the Open Learning meetups. We do this online every Saturday, and it's a fairly informal thing. Usually, Ratnesh, who co-founded Aarohi, is the one who hosts it, and I co-host it with him. But Ratnesh is traveling, given that it's summer, and asked me to step in as the host today. So I am your host for this conversation now. And we typically start with a round of introductions. We do have some new faces. So it would be good to get to know about you, a little bit about you, and also where you're from and what brings you to the meetup. So please feel free to unmute yourself, and very glad to see so many videos on as well. So if the others can also turn on their video when you're talking, that would be really nice. Would help us get a visual connect. So please go ahead. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Jessie, please.
Yes, so my daughter is here. She wants to
Hi.
introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn and I just finished my 6th grade.
Okay.
And I'm from Bangalore.
And I'm from Bangalore.
Yes, I remember you guys are from Bangalore. Nice to see you today, Ashian. Did I get your name right? Ashia?
Ashlyn.
Ashlyn. Okay. Nice, Ashlyn. Nice to meet you. How about others?
Hello.
Please go ahead, Hemlata.
I'm Himlata. I'm from Bangalore. I have a 4-year-old kid. So I was exploring different ways of unschooling him. We do travel a lot, and me and my husband both are entrepreneurs. We are into supply chain consultancy.
Nice.
We travel a lot around, so we would like to take him around. And what we have learned in our colleges or schools or everything, that we see now, go back and see now, I haven't been using it any of it.
Yeah.
And pretty much every time Monday mornings and every time I have to go to school in the morning, I used to think cruel things. That why can't it be holiday today? Probably
Yeah.
so those things. I don't want my son to undergo any of those things. I want it to be a open learning space for him and happy learning phase for him. Actually, I don't want to push any academics or anything onto him. So I was exploring different options, which I didn't have an option because I had to work. I come from a middle class family, so I had to work definitely. Now it's kind of, I want to give that freedom for my son. So both me and my husband.
Yeah. Don't worry, he will also be working very soon. As open learners, we start working much earlier than others. Don't.
Yeah, I would be happy if he becomes a farmer. I would be happy if he becomes what he wants to do, because I don't want him to go through this 23 years of learning and then get into a corporate, then learn. He will be in the corporate already because we are in that. We are giving him the treatment already.
Nice. Thank you, Himlata.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We
a bit
have-
confused, so I'm in this platform to understand how I have to go about it.
Okay. So I don't know if we will help you clarify anything, but we'll surely give you more questions to think about.
Okay.
And yeah, let's see. Unless you ask the questions, you won't get the answers. So
No, I have a lot of questions.
great. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We have other folks who have joined. If you would like to please go ahead.
I'll go next, maybe.
Please.
Priya here. I'm mother of 2 kids, 4 years and 8 years old.
Mhm.
Have done conventional schooling. We've raised them in England, and currently we've relocated ourselves to India about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
So in the transition of finding another school here, the
Yeah.
past year has been quite adventurous again for us. We've road schooled them.
Mhm.
We've gone across all of Europe, always on
Mhm.
the move. Even now on the move, actually. But that doesn't stop us. It has learned. You can be
Okay.
anywhere, but
Which
still do
part
what
of
you
India
want
do
to
you
do.
live in these days, Priya?
I have based myself in Coimbatore because we
Okay.
originally came back because my father has a business that we want to take care of as well.
Okay.
And currently I've just passed Aarohi in between Coimbatore and Bangalore. So
Okay.
I even had plans to visit your school in next week or so while we are visiting Tirupati.
Okay.
We're
Yeah,
going down to Elagiri.
yeah, the campus is off in May, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. So yeah,
Nice. Glad
we
to have
often
you
go
join.
past.
Yeah.
So we've had conventional schooling for my elder one, and then unconventional road schooling for both of them for the past year. And now I know the disadvantage of both. Now I need to figure out which one I want to go with. I'm a bit ahead of Hemlata, I must say,
Yeah.
because it does need a lot more of learning to yourself as a parent before you can teach the children how to unlearn.
Yeah, but Priya, don't worry. They will start teaching you things, and it's best when you stand back and let them do their learning, and you take care of your learnings. So,
I don't want to be a spoil sport here, but if I had put my children just in an Amazon forest, I'm sure they would be doing much better in a open environment learning. Now I feel it is so accommodated with other things that we don't want them to learn, and that is what they reach out to first.
well,
And that has been my challenge.
true.
You
I
can
mean,
let them loose,
I
but the field is not safe.
I appreciate that you recognize that it's a challenge for you and not for them, because they're quite happy doing what they're doing, right? So
Exactly.
great. Nice to have you here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sakshi, and we have Bone. Please, Bone, go ahead.
Hi, Vijay. Do I pronounce your name as Vijay?
We can't hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's much better.
Brilliant. Hi, Dwiji.
Hi.
How do I pronounce your name? Do I pronounce it as Dwiji?
Yeah, you got it right. I don't know if I got your name right, but
Varun.
Barun. Okay. Hi, Barun.
Hi. We're from Darjeeling, up in the hills. And this is my daughter,
Hi.
Rain. And that's my wife.
Hi.
So we're here. I'm actually, sorry, I'm moving the camera around quite a bit. My apologies.
Okay. Yeah.
So this entire decision of homeschooling has been mine.
Mm-hmm.
I have not sent her to school at all. We're homeschooling her currently. But so that's the reason actually I was interested in Aarohi. So my plan is to ideally homeschool her right throughout her entire life. And the manner in which I want to homeschool her is for her to decide what she wants to learn. And her to take the pace at which she's comfortable.
Lovely.
Travel around with her such that she can learn as she travels, meeting different people. The only problem right now is, unfortunately, of course, the last 2 years. And this year it's taking a bit of time, but I intend to travel with her. And as I travel, I would like her to learn and ideally travel to locations where there are facilities like this, Aarohi.
Mhm.
So who got me onto Aarohi is my wife.
Mhm.
So so I said, look, this is going to be a joint effort.
Mhm.
All right, it's not my will only because we both need to participate in this. And the main reason for me, ideally, I guess this would be the same thing with you all as well, is that the main reason for homeschooling is because conventional education does not allow children the skills, the imagination, the creative power, or the
Mhm.
creative prowess to become complete individuals in life.
Mhm.
I am kind of a little I favor either the Montessori or the Waldorf or the various other alternative education that is there. But then I said that why would you want to send her to a place where she is regulated? Because first off, these schools are not here.
Lovely. Mhm.
So why don't we do a bit of Montessori, a bit of Waldorf, a bit of the various other things out there, go and explore. But more importantly, she's got to learn at her own pace. So if
Lovely.
she's quick, let her learn quick. If she's slow, let her learn slow. Whatever she wants to learn is her decision. But she's about 4.5 right now.
Mhm.
So getting her into the mode, and as you understand, I guess every single parent has this.
Yeah.
The four-edged black screen in any size or shape, the size basically is our greatest enemy. I wouldn't say enemy per se,
Mhm.
but every single parent, and I have seen this whether it be them adults or whether they be children, any
Yeah.
age group, because it works on subliminal messages and
Yeah.
beta wave programming and all that. So
Yeah.
it's very difficult to move them away because these years are their formative years.
So, Borun, thank you. That was there were a lot of things there that we can talk about, and we will talk about some of that. And look forward to your questions and participation in the discussions today. And you were mentioning about Waldorf, Montessori, and all that. So yes, we will. I mean, we should all be practicing our own thing, like Apriya and Hemlata and and Borun as well. So not just one or a few particular types of education, but each one designs their own that works for their family, right? So, and for that their own self. So each individual, we believe that it's not just the family that the family supports, but the individual has to drive. So very much like what you shared. Sakshi, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, so Sakshi is a little occupied. I'm her husband, Amit.
Hi.
And we have two daughters. One is 4.5 years old and one is about 9 months old.
I didn't get your name, sorry.
Amit.
Amit. Hi,
Yeah.
Amit. Yeah.
Hi. So our elder daughter has just started going to a school, and we many things we have followed unconventional with our elder daughter till now. She had some medical conditions and all, which took us to this path of natural care and food-based curing and all. So naturally, now when the time for schooling comes, my wife who got into this obviously wants to unschool her and not send her to a conventional school. We had enrolled her to a conventional school because there was there is a certain time only when one can enroll based on draw slots and all. But this summer break, the first summer break that she has, we want to explore. We want to make a decision whether we want to continue sending her to a school or take her out and do something like homeschooling or unschooling.
Great. Thank you, Amit. And where are you based, Amit?
We are based in Chandigarh.
Okay, lovely. So good. Glad to have folks from Darjeeling and Chandigarh, Coimbatore and Bangalore, and Bangalore as well. So from coast to coast to the the mountains. Lovely. So my name is Dwiji. I'm a member of the Aarohi community, and I have been part of the Aarohi community for about 4 years now. And I have a 13-year-old daughter. Well, actually a 12-year-old. She's still 12, though she likes to act like a teenager. But so I have a 12-year-old daughter who in the last few months has decided that she doesn't want to go to campus. So but still she's doing her own thing. And yeah, I mean, the power and the attraction of any screen to anybody, not just a teenager or a toddler, but even for a middle-aged person or a grand old person. It's a big challenge, but it's also the same things, the same screens that connect a lot of us, almost all of us, on forums like this, and also it get us access to a lot of things. And it's the reality. So we live in this reality. So how we navigate through this and all that, we'll talk about that if we get around to that. But before that, I would just like to give a brief introduction to what Aarohi is and how we look at open learning. Because like a lot of you have shared, there are different flavors of open learning. There are different, you can call it unschooling, homeschooling, world schooling, travel schools. But when we say open learning, we are primarily looking at some kind of a unstructured thing rather than the totally structured curriculum driven conventional education. And we do not like to stick up to a particular thing because of philosophy, but rather just do what we feel comes naturally to us as a part of living, which is learning what we want to learn. If you, a lot of you have toddlers, 4-year-olds, if I remember right, and you would remember the days when your child was still a toddler or even younger, and they would be very driven. If they want to do something, they would go for it. They wouldn't wait for any help. They wouldn't even ask for help. Only when they got into some trouble would they be, giving out a shriek or a cry, but otherwise they would be just doing their thing. And that's the beauty of learning. When we want to do something, we go ahead and do it. And in the act of doing, we learn a lot. So what is the purpose of education? When we grow up, why do we go from learning naturally to this thing called education, right? So what is the purpose? So for us, the purpose of education is living. It's life. It's, some might feel that it's about making money. Some might feel that it's about building a career, but we feel that it's about building our own lives, living our own lives, and being happy doing that, rather than trying to live the life like what somebody else lived or make as much money as somebody else. It might be your ambition, but then your life is in your hands. If I am the leader of myself, then why bind ourselves to a curriculum? Which is the question that a lot of you are asking. That's lovely to hear that so many openly questioning that aspect, and you're in the right place, because we do believe that we should not be binding our children to a curriculum. Let them learn what they want to learn. The other thing which some of you might have a little difficult time in digesting directly as is that we do not want to teach our children. They will learn what they want to learn. They are capable of figuring it out. If they need help, they will ask us for help. If they feel that we are not the right people, they will ask anybody that they feel can give that information, can give them that guidance, including that black four-cornered screen that some of us dread. So once we accept these two propositions, the third one comes naturally, that hey, if the child is leading themselves, if they are figuring out what they are doing, then who are we, or a board, or or a testing agency, who are these people to assess the child? do we really have assessments of everything that we learn in our life done by a third party? Not really, unless you have a very picky spouse or a picky parent. Even then, it would be more of a pushback than a happy engagement. But the idea is that we encourage the child to assess themselves, and we do not impose anything. That a degree or a certificate is one of the many ways in which we learn, in which we build a career, in which we earn a living. Now, luckily for us, we live in a time when a lot of these things are possible, which at certain points in history were not as possible. So before we go into all that, I would like to just play this short clip about Aarohi. This was a short movie made by one of the members of the community, young. I think she was about 13 years when she made this. Yeah, let me just play this to give you a flavor of what Aarohi is. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio.
Connecting with people is amazing.
I like chit-chatting with my friends while eating.
An opportunity to take all the guests around the tour, around the campus.
Currently, I'm working on improving myself so that I can play in a club next year.
I get resources and support to fulfill my passion for sketching.
I sketch many things of animals, birds.
In Aarohi, I'm a guest and I can find my space here, pursuing my interest on upcycling.
I drum to express my emotion and it makes me feel lighter. In bird watching, I learn a lot of things. What is color of bird, and
I like the time when I spend with the community playing sports.
I spend time doing projects related to cinematography and video editing.
I like organizing trips in Aarohi क्योंकि your opportunity is to organize trips.
Video making is awesome. It's productive and you get an awesome outcome.
I like to do electrical work. I've put many.
I connect with the planning here. Gives me clarity.
I like playing with the cats. I learn crochet and teach others crochet.
எனக்கு சமைக்கிறதுக்கு இங்க ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
All the resources here are new to me to explore.
Yeah, so that was a brief, like a trailer kind of thing for what Aarohi is and how we look at it. And as you know, you might have noticed we talk about it as a community. So it's not just that every family is on their own, but rather we try to make this into a learning experience which is across the community. And we totally believe in this moniker that it takes a village. And the reason we want a community is because each of us brings in our own flavors. And when we have these various connections across generations, across professions, across geographies, we have amazing collaborations. And especially thanks to the pandemic and all that, and the technology, we are connecting across the spectrum today from various places around the world. We have a few families in the Middle East as well, and I think one or two in the US too. I don't know if they're still active. And of course across the country here in India. So it's what does the community do? The community is not involved in teaching per se, but rather in coaching, mentoring, supporting, guiding, because it's not that only the parents and the adults do the coaching and mentoring. Many a time we have youngsters, children, totally supporting the seniors, the parents and the so-called adults, in coaching them through certain things. I mean, especially when it comes to technology, they are way better than us when it comes to some of these things, and they do a way better job of communicating what exactly we should be looking for and other things. And no, I don't just mean to say technology in terms of the screen and other things, but just in terms of understanding technology, understanding the various dynamics which happen online and stuff like that. So the idea of the community is to co-create. That it's not like there is one formula and everybody has to fit into that formula, but rather we come together and based on our interests, we engage with each other to co-create an experience, a learning, rather than going with one particular formula or philosophy. Now, Aarohi works both online and offline. Online, actually offline, is the campus, which is about an hour and a half outside Bangalore in Tamil Nadu. And if you would like to schedule a visit, please do go to the visit page on the website and register there, because we are not a school campus. It's an open learning community. And the campus is a space where members of the community come together to further their learning experiences. So it's not a walk-in, walk-out kind of place. You have to please register before you come. And also there is a small orientation, because there are children, there are adults, there are pets, and there are wild animals. So we would like you to be oriented before you land on campus. So do register for a visit. And we have the online version as well. Thanks to the pandemic, we took to the online space and because of a compulsion. But since then have realized that it's actually a flourishing online, online is a flourishing environment, where the community can flourish, because a lot of collaborations that were not possible earlier is possible now. So open learning community Aarohi, that's what we are. We do not claim ourselves to be a school, because we are not a school. We do not claim to be a philosophy, because each one follows their own philosophy, their own desire of what they want to learn at that point in time. So we are an open learning community, and let's take this out now. So usually when we meet up like this, we have a theme which with which we start the conversation. Today's theme we had identified was my capability, my journey, or something like that. My learning, my journey. So I guess it's already quite obvious. I don't want to belabor the point, and I have already let it get to 27. So sorry for the reduced time for discussions. So please feel free to unmute yourself, and let's focus the discussion a little bit on the open learning side to begin with, and then get to Aarohi and the dynamics of Aarohi and stuff like that. Feel free to ask questions, share your opinions. If you would like to share an experience, we would welcome that. So yeah, please go ahead. Or if you're more comfortable typing in the chat window, that's perfectly fine as well. Yeah, go ahead, Borun.
Sorry, I'm facing a lot of network issues over here. Am I audible?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. For some reason, I can't hear you. There is. I'm actually interested at a later time to come down to where y'all are. Mm-hmm. And our little one is about 4.5. Well, she'll be 5 in August. We can all come down together. Is that correct? Or do you have any?
Oh yeah. So Aarohi is not just for children. Aarohi is an open learning space. We do not have only children joining the community. The entire family joins the community. So yeah, I mean, it's not just your daughter who's welcome. All of you are welcome. If you can get a few more people, you're welcome to get them around as well. Yeah.
For some reason or the other, sorry, Dwij, I'm facing a bit of technical issues with the sound.
Okay.
So I'm just put my headphones on and.
Sure. Would others want to join the conversation, and we can have one?
Is this better now?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yeah,
clearly.
okay, fine.
And she
I'm sorry,
wants
I
one
wasn't
of your
able.
earphones. So.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes to participate in my
Yay.
online meetings as well.
Lovely.
So
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you. Could you just repeat yourself? I'm sorry if
So
that's
I was
possible.
saying that Aarohi is not just for children. We are an open learning community, and open learning, the way we practice it, is not just for children. We would like the entire family to be part of it. And whenever you're visiting, if you want to get a few more people, get them along. We don't have any objections at all. It's an open learning community where we welcome new energies, new spirits, new ideas, and of course, new faces and voices. So, yeah.
What do you all normally do for, say, 4.5s right now? Because now is their playtime, to engage them in, and especially, managing house, managing them with their screen time. And then the only way I see is, for them to play around in the open fields, and then just talk to them, have conversations, read them stories, let them, tell you what they have understood. Is that how you normally, because see, I'm very new to this, and I'm completely for empowering the child rather than,
So
institutionalizing the child. Sorry.
You hit the nail on the on the head. That's exactly what we do. What we do is we let the child tell us what she or he wants to do. We do not tell them this is what you need to do.
Right.
In the day, there are like at least about 14 hours that we are awake. And in those 14 hours, we let them do whatever they want for a good part of that, probably about 10 hours.
How do you handle screen time? Sorry.
No, we do not handle it. We do not handle it. They handle it. And there is enough things happening on campus
to keep them engaged.
Yeah. And it's not like we try to keep children or adults engaged with things, right? It's about what do you want to do. If you want to do something that requires you to be online, then being online is perfectly fine, right? But if it means that I am not doing what I wanted to do, then we are not the right people to be telling them, hey, you are not doing what you want to do. We can only ask, is this what you want to do? But just as much as we ask ourselves, hey, is this what I really want to do? Right? Do I want to sit in front of this stupid movie that I'm not interested in seeing and just sit there and watch it? Or do I want to be doing something else? Right? So we need to get those voices in their heads from their own self rather than having it go in through ears. Right?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So the idea is that we do not try to get them to do things. There are so many things that people are doing. And of course, there are certain things that everyone has to do. Like when you're on campus, you are supposed to take care of the campus. So you are supposed to give time to take care, to do certain duties around campus. There is sports time, which is mandatory for everyone. And there is also time that you have to be part of certain activities, like what we call as planning or coordination, so that everyone knows what the other is doing. And there is a lot of sharing that happens in that. And we also have half an hour time in the evening where we reflect on our day. So plan, do, reflect. So that's the way we work.
That's brilliant.
And that's all we insist on. Everything else, we as individuals will decide. Not even I as a parent will decide what my daughter will do. No, she will decide what she wants to do. I'll decide what I want to do. And if I want ideas, I'll ask anybody, whether it's my daughter or Ratnesh or, anybody on campus. So, so that's the whole idea of planning and coordination and all that. So we are kind of getting into the Aarohi of it rather than the open learning of it. But that's okay. I mean, as long as everyone else is on the same page.
So just had a question. How does, I'm sorry.
Gurun, if you don't mind, let's have some more voices and then we'll come back. Yeah. Go ahead, Hemlata.
Yeah, my question, my worry is I'm just getting started now. I don't want him to put in an what is that formal schooling. So I explore. I'm in the process of exploring a couple of alternative schools, but still I'm somewhere feeling like again he will be stuck in 8 to 1 o'clock. Probably he may have a little more playtime, but they will be teaching everything. So I have been seeing Aarohi from past 2 years. I think I've been following it because I wanted my son to be there, but I have never participated because he was too young. Now is the time, since because I'm exploring, I couldn't engage him. At the end of the day, he go back to the TV. Because I have my housework. My husband is working.
Exactly. I add on the point of what Hemlata is saying. That is the biggest challenge we are facing.
Exactly.
It has even put down to the level where I think I failed. Finally, I have left them in wrong hands. Every single time, I feel I failed when they go back to the screen, and it's like I failed engaging them. To an extent, my 8-year-old daughter need to be always engaged because she don't engage herself. So this is another bug that I figured out, that I've misled her from being able to engage herself to being always being engaged. Now I need to unlearn that bit. So having parenting all that much, it was all the care of the first child, giving all the attention. Now I don't have the time. Now I realize what I gave was wrong. I shouldn't have engaged her in the first place. Now how do I unengage her?
No, even if you don't, Priya, even if you don't engage, they are behind me. See, my son is only 4 years old. I have provided him everything, ample of toys, books, pens. I read with him. I sit and read with him. He's not interested. Only going out, he wants to play. I can't be out all the time. I wanted to be at home also. I have to take care of home also. He catches that time. So he catches when I am on phone, or when I have to talk, or when every time he turns back, he doesn't want toys, he doesn't want anything. Every time he runs back to that cartoons, and I literally feel miserable. At 4 years, I couldn't tell him how to engage him. But at the same time,
I'll add on to one more point here. My 8-year-old daughter is addicted to books. I call it an anesthesia for her. She can sit down and read books for hours. And even that time, I mean, she doesn't scientific books. She just reads comics, normal, engaging, normal storybooks. And I feel penalized even for that. I feel like you're wasting your time just reading storybooks all the time. I mean, like, it's gone to an extent where I feel like, am I just gone mad?
Yes.
Even if she's reading a book.
Okay. So, Priya, Hemlata, I think let's try to get some more voices here, because I mean, I have already shared how we look at screen and how we look at engagement, because actually let's get some more voices. Jesse is around, Sakshi, Amit and Sakshi are there. Rekha and Kokila have joined. I don't know if it's Rekha and Tej Rekha, or Tej's mother Rekha, or
yes,
a different
Rekha.
Rekha.
It is Rekha and Tej.
Hey, good. So Rekha is another member of our community. She's been around for, actually, why am I introducing? Rekha, you introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rekha. I'm from Bangalore. I have been associated with Aarohi into literally open learning from 2020. But my son was going to the regular school. He completed his 5th grade in 2020, and from 2021 we are into literal open learning, the official open learning journey.
Yeah. So, Rekha, you want to share your thoughts on screen time and engaging and all that?
Yeah. Hemlata and Priya, I am there with you. I am totally there with you, still there with you. But at the same time, as Vijay told, they engage themselves, right? And somewhere this screen, this thing, I feel at least it is too much of information that we have got from internet that screen time is so bad, this happens, that happens, and again that guilt comes as a mom. Oh, as a mom, I'm not even able to get my kid away from screen. All that plays major role, and the actual time, if you really observe, I don't think kids would be so much into screen as we are giving it a picture of, he's or she is going back to the screen every now and then, kind of a thing. If you maybe give yourself 1 week and observe, log the times that they, because this, I got it from elder one. Mama, it is your thoughts that is making you do this. I'm not on screen all day. You log the time and see. And when I did it, it is literally, it is not. And there are few screen times which does add value to their learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I would like to add
when we become aware of that, pardon me?
Yeah, I said I would like to add a little bit to that. So recently, Sudha, my wife, and I were discussing something, and Ibu, our daughter, came in and said something really smart. And I was like, where did you hear that? So she said, I saw it on some video. I said, okay, fine. What else did you see? And we were actually discussing about the Civil War and all that, what exactly is a Civil War. And she was talking about the American Civil War. And it turned out she knew quite a bit about the Civil War, which I'm pretty sure none of the textbooks would have taught her. And then she was, the googly was when she went on to describe the 1857 conflict, or the war of 1857, and kind of compared it with the Civil War. And I'm like, boss, this is too much. So all from YouTube, not even, articles and all that. She listens to some podcasts as well, but it's pretty much YouTube. And I mean, I'll be very frank. I think I did mention in the introduction that she's not been going to campus, and she's going through a teenage, like a very hormonal teenage, I would say. And so she's spending anywhere from 4 to 10 hours on YouTube every day. Okay, so that is the amount of time that she's spending online on YouTube. And we have a constant conversation going on as to what's happening, what is she watching, what would she want to talk about. And it's not that all that time is entertainment, nor is it that all that time is study. So she is trying to find her balance, and we are trying to find how we can play a meaningful role in her finding that balance. If I were to strictly apply rules on her device and say, hey, you only get 1 hour of YouTube time and everything else, it's you do whatever you want, that's not going to work, because she has seen YouTube, or she's been living with YouTube for a larger percentage of her life than I have, right? So she, in some sense, is way more capable of handling the technology than I am. And even if she isn't, I would like her to be more capable of handling it than I am. And that's how we see it, that how do we play an enabling role rather than a governing role, right? How do we facilitate something rather than trying to dictate something, right? So putting in rules will only go that far, but it's not that we can be without rules, right? So each of us has to strike a balance between the various pressures that we ourselves face in deciding how we want to go forward with our own time, as well as the time and what our children are doing. If we feel that, oh, I would like to be part of everything they do, then like Priya said, hey, you are setting yourself up for failure, because they have a lot more energy than you do, right? As a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old, I mean, no way we can keep up with them. So then it's a matter of, jugalbandi. So you have to find where the other person is, let them have their space, let them have their, their stage for themselves. And then when you can add value, you join in. So that's how we see it. And there's no one particular way of doing it. And each of us has to find that. So it's a journey. So yes, failure is very much part of it. I mean, life would be very boring if we didn't fail. I mean, it's like a walkover, right? What's the fun in playing a walkover match? It's much more fun when there is a win, there is a loss, there is a tie here and there, right? So yeah, so don't be disappointed that you feel that you're a failure. That's a very important feeling that we encourage, because only when we feel that, hey, I couldn't measure up to what I wanted to do, will we want to change ourselves, will we want to improve ourselves. So it's not about them, it's about us, it's about our own learnings. So yeah, enough yakking. Other questions, other thoughts, please. Amit, I think you had sent in your sign up for the session, for the meetup, you had a bunch of questions. Would you like to share them?
Yeah, yeah, I did. So yeah, basically, the questions were like, since all of us have been mostly, the parents or whoever, have been traditional schooled and all. So there is obviously a fear of, that how will this turn out to be? How can children develop social skills or the pressure which will eventually come? It's a very then the other thing that I had in mind was that how can the parents decide how can we like, in the sense who will tell us that we are correct? We could be imbibing very wrong things to them. We some flaws in our own self. Who would tell us that this is wrong? I'm not sure whether traditional school plays that part, but at least we get to interact with a lot of parents. We get to interact with the teachers and the students also. So those, I think, how the child can, in the competitive world, in the like college and all, how can they cope when there is no like a as of now it looks like it'll be a undisciplined life. No,
yeah. So Rekha, do you want to share your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? Do you want to start? And by the way, everybody feel free, if you would like to share your thoughts on something like Priya just jumped in, please feel free to jump in. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, Rekha, go
Hi
ahead.
to everyone. This is Kokila from Salem.
Yeah, please, Kokila, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with Priya and Hema. Two sons are there for me, and one is 13 plus, and another one is 11 plus. Even I'm struggling with the same screen time. Yeah. Moreover, I push them to engage right from their like 5+ years. Like I want to keep them engaged, and they doesn't know how to keep them engaged in a productive way.
Okay, so Kokila, let's come back to this after a little bit. We had Amit sharing some of his thoughts and questions.
Okay.
And if you would like to share your thoughts on what Amit was asking, or if you had anything to add to that, please feel free. Otherwise, we'll hear from Rekha and then continue. Is that fine? Okay. Rekha, please go ahead.
Amit, to get back to your question, your concerns were, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Your concerns were the social life of the child and how the the child will get adjusted in open. If they are into open learning, how will they get adjusted into the so-called real world kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Social world, this was my concern even before Tej. My younger one, I would say we both, myself and Tej also, I waited for Tej to take that call on his own to say, okay, I'm going to give it a try. This open learning or homeschooling, whatever you call, I'm going to give it a try. Before that, he was into school and he was very clear that he wants to go back to school. And maybe the online thing was the one which made him take that call. Okay, I'm going to give this homeschooling or open learning kind of give it a try for a year. And if it doesn't, we had a discussion that if it doesn't work out, he will go back to school. For sure, he will go back to school. So, and the first concern that I had when I talked to Ratnesh was this social, I don't know, because we both at home are not very socially, very active anywhere. No. We have our very closed group of friends, and beyond that, we don't go. So I was concerned, how will he, because he is already seeing that we are only closed. The Ratnesh's answer was his need. You don't know his need. It might be very different from you, or it might be same as you, or it might be much lower than you. So his need will push him to do it. What all I heard, okay, but I had my own concerns. This year when he was into open learning, he had quite a few episodes where his friends were engaged in the exams in the school, and he felt left out because he did not get time to play with them. He had lots of amount of time, but there were no, he used to go out, come back and tell none of my friends turned up. They had this exam, they had that tuition and all. We did go through discussions. He did tell that maybe I took a call of not going back, leaving school much earlier than I should have. All that discussions we did go through. And somewhere in Feb or March, one day he decided, I'm not going to wait for my friends. I'm going to go and see who is there and play with them and come back. From that day till today, he doesn't even give a call to his friends. If they come, he'll play with them. He'll be happy, come back and tell Mama, this person came, that person came. Otherwise, he'll go play, whoever is there, whatever they are playing, he'll play, spend his 2 hours there and come back. No complaints till now after that. And he has increased his social circle also.
Yeah. So that's one very common thing, Amit, that when we say you as an individual have to go out and do things on your own, it becomes inevitable that you will go talk to people. When we stop setting up things for them and they want to do something, they're not going to wait for us. They're going to go do things. And the best we can do is to encourage them to do it, to enable them, and of course teach them about safety and give them some ideas on what is safe, what is unsafe, what are the things to watch out for, such basic things, how to cross the road, how to be in a public space, some specific things like that, some safety related aspects. But beyond that, children will go out and socialize way more and build a much more vibrant social life than they can when they are within the structured environment of a school or classroom or or tuitions and all those other things. The other aspect that you talked about, that you asked about, was please, can you remind me that again, Amit? Sorry, I missed it.
So like if we are unschooling or homeschooling. It's the parents' values or the parents' beliefs or parents' way of doing things or way of life. The child will imbibe. What if we are wrong? What if we consciously wrong?
Sorry, I get that. There were two aspects to this. One is the fear of the unknown, what comes after, what's going to happen later, and the other is the other part was about the discipline and an undisciplined life. So I'll take the first one first, which is the future. Do we know for sure what will happen if I go through and get a 10th standard and then a 12th standard and then a bachelor's and then a master's?
No.
Right. So then why is it that we don't fear that? The reason we don't fear that is because there is a big cohort there which makes us feel I'm not alone in this. Right?
True.
So that's the whole point of having an open learning community. An open learning community where it's not just me who is doing open learning, but rather n number of people who are doing that, getting to know them, their own lives, their own journeys, their own learnings, so that confidence can build in myself and I can share my own confidence with others. And actually, if you ask children, however old they are, until they get into these teenage years, I'm picking a little too much on teenage years. I hope she doesn't watch this recording. Anyway, they actually are very confident. What do I want to do? I want to become a pilot. How will you become? I will become a pilot, right? Oh, you will have to write exams? Okay, I'll write exams. There are a few kids who wanted to become a pilot and went ahead and gave their 10th standard exams and all that, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that when we think of the future, we are more afraid than our children are, right? So in some sense, then we have to ask ourselves, for the sake of my feeling confident, I want them to go through something. Is that fair?
True.
I should probably go through something rather than they to feel confident about my future.
Very true.
Right. So that's the part about the future and the whole idea of community. The second part about discipline. Discipline, frankly, is overrated. Okay, let me put it out because I myself am extremely undisciplined. I have dabbled around in at least 10 professions in my 44 years of life. And in those 10 professions, almost in everything, I can teach somebody something. Those who are practicing, I can teach them something. But then I don't pursue that today. That's not how I earn my living. So does it mean that I haven't learned anything and I have wasted my time doing all those things? Oh, hell no. The values that I bring to the table today, the thoughts, the experiences that I bring today is unparalleled because of all these various things that I have done in my life, right? And that was only possible because I was undisciplined. I pursued something for 1 year, 6 months, 4 months, 3 years, 5 years, and then decided, hey, I need to move on. This is not, there's no fun in this, right? So I'm a classic example of undisciplined. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering, and today I'm working with farmers and I teach people how to cook. Okay, so the reason I'm sharing this is because my unschooling, my learning, open learning, started when I was in 10th standard, 12th standard, 10th standard actually. And I had decided that I would be a cook. I just wanted to be a cook. And I couldn't convince my parents. They convinced me to go to tuitions, and a whole love with maths, all sorts of things started. And then after doing all that, now I work with farmers and talk about food, nutrition, history, anthropology, sociology, and of course, cooking. So So my mother keeps telling or lamenting, sometimes happily, sometimes lamenting, that after all that you have come back to what you wanted to do back then, which is cooking. Right? So this idea of discipline, and by the way, I'm doing reasonably well. As you can see, I have a roof over my head and a stable internet connection. So the idea of discipline is important only to a certain degree. And what we have to recognize is that when we want to do something, we don't need somebody to hold a stick and make us do it. Right? When we really want to do something, we'll go ahead and do it. What is important is that as we are doing things, we reflect upon where we are, what we are doing, how we are doing, where we are going, where do we want to go, what do we want to take, and keep that process of learning alive. So this aspect of discipline needs to be disciplined. This search for discipline needs to be disciplined, frankly. We can do with a lot of focus is very useful, energy is very useful, intensity is very useful, but discipline comes naturally when all these other things are there. The first thing is intent, the desire to do something, right? So I would even say, and I keep telling this to my daughter as well, that all that you want to do is YouTube watching. That's perfectly fine, right? Be clear that you are driving it and not the algorithm. Right?
Right.
As long as you are driving your pursuits, you are doing it. There is a volition. There is something that you're using your own, right? She might have heard somebody talk about some singer, wants to look up that singer, or she might have heard Sudha and me talking about something, wants to do that, or she might have come across some advertisement and wants to know more about that, right? Those are all pursuits, even if they are online on a device, right? So the first thing, my primary campaign is to get them off algorithms, right? And Google, and not just Google, I mean all of them, they're very insidious. So I had turned off algorithms on YouTube for the suggestions from YouTube on my daughter's account, and she got wild. You don't want me to track history, is it? And I was like, why? Your history should be there. She's like, no, when you turn off algorithm, the history goes off. So, in some sense, you can see what they really want us to be hooked to the algorithm. They don't want us to be thinking, right? So anyway, talking about discipline and, going back to the point that Hemlata, Priya and Kokila were sharing, that when it comes to screen and other things, there are a lot of things that we could do. So it doesn't mean that we have to, they live in this world, boss. We were born and we grew up. I'm assuming safely that you're all, were born before the age of the internet and before small screens. So they were born with this. So let's think back to our own times. My parents would be obsessed that I was listening to too much music. We had a tape deck that had come to our house new when I was 10, not 12, 10, it was more like 14, 15 years old. And they were like, where do you get these tapes from? What are you doing with this? Right? And hey, they are born with YouTube and Facebook and Insta and TikTok and all that. So yeah. Good luck trying to regulate it. And seriously, don't let that spoil your sleep and your peace. I don't mean to say that, let them do whatever they want, but rather try to come up with ways to engage and understand and be with them, co-create that experience rather than trying to direct that experience, right? So maybe you can sit and watch something with them to get an idea of what they're watching, and then think, okay, you like this. Now, what are the other things? Like, for example, my daughter used to love Paw Patrol when she was much younger. And we kind of got a hook to, videos about dogs and wild animals and stuff like that. And that's been a journey. Now she just kind of cruises from one thing to another and another. So yeah, I mean, just try to co-create is my suggestion, Kokila. By trying to direct, we are essentially setting ourselves up for failure, and that's perfectly fine. As I was saying earlier, to fail, nothing wrong with that. It's just that we would like to, succeed as well. So yeah.
How does the online community thing works in Aarohi is my next question.
Sure. So we use multiple tools. We have online sessions, of course, where if I'm interested in something, then I'll say, hey, I want to host this session, and anybody else who's interested in this. And we have these things called clubs where we identify certain common ideas, like I'm interested in maths, someone else is interested in crochet, somebody else is interested in gardening or football or something else. So they meet. There are certain slots in the week where we have marked it out on our calendar, and you log in through Zoom. We have direct one-to-one conversations on phone. We also do shows online. We put together shows. Bunch of things happen online. We also use a tool called Discord, through which we have conversations and engage with each other on an ongoing.
This is accessible to the children directly. Like we could sign up for them. I mean, obviously not 4-year-olds, but 8 year and
exactly. Yeah. So yes, and quite a few actually do use other tools. They leave voice messages where they cannot type. They are not yet comfortable typing. There are some folks who insist that you come on live so that they can talk to you rather than leaving a message, or so yeah, and of course we also do these what we call as the opening circle and the closing circle every week, where we come online and share what we want to do and what we are interested in doing. Some of us who are not able to join that on a regular basis share it online on Discord. Discord is like a messaging kind of thing with which is asynchronous, so you can go and check messages whenever you are free, rather than being there all the time. So yeah, so that's the dynamics. Just go to our website and you will find Aarohi X right there, and you can read up about it, sign up. We have a brief discussion so that there is some orientation about open learning and all, and being part of this kind of a meetup is one of that. So yeah, so just check it out online. I forgot the address. I think it's arohilive.org/AarohiX. I'll just look it up in a minute and post it as well. Actually, it's there on one of the slides, no? Yeah, it's Aarohi-X. So yeah, that's what it is. I'll just copy paste the link here in the chat window as well.
So we can register on it, and directly will we be able to get the support, or can we go through those discussions and part of
Yes. See, the idea is that you register online and you get to understand, you try to understand what open learning is and how we practice it. Hemlata, if I remember right, your son is 4 years old.
Yes.
Right. So it's not necessarily true that a 4-year-old would be engaged online in online sessions, right? So it would be more about you participating in it and giving whatever time you can to get a hang of, okay, how do I do this? What's happening here? What can I do with this? Right.
I want to understand how. I want a structure for me first before I put
exactly
that.
Exactly. That's the thing that, and that's whether it's Aarohi X or Aarohi on campus, we are very clear that the whole family joins the community.
So Aarohi on campus, Aarohi on campus, so the kids stay there. Along with the parents or without parents?
If they are ready to stay without parents, they stay without parents. If they are not, then the parent, I mean, one or both of the parents have to make up their mind.
Okay. So, can we drop them off in the morning and come and pick him up in the evening?
Yeah, Aarohi is a little too far to do that.
Yeah, I'm ready to do that.
So I'll just share some of the experiences. So we first came across Aarohi when our daughter was 7 years old, and we felt she wasn't ready, even though there were other 7-year-olds who were there on campus by themselves. And when she was 9, she started going to campus. And this year we have a 5-year-old who shoos away his mother whenever she comes to campus.
Wow.
Sarvesh is like, Amma, inga varavenda. You don't come here.
Oh. No, I don't want to leave my son even if he wants to leave.
Exactly.
I would like to keep him.
That's what Ambli also does. So it's not like she listens to him. But anyway, so when you're on campus, you are not there as, your son's mother.
Yes.
You are there as Hemlata, right? So the idea is that we want our children to be independent.
Yes.
We want them to decide for themselves. What's the best way to do that? The best way to do that is let them decide, right? If your son decides, I want mommy here, then he will convey it to you, right? And if it's possible for you, then you go there, you stay there. But if it's not, then you negotiate, you co-create that space where maybe once in a month you go there, or, you find something. There are folks who have relocated to Hosur so that they can do what you're doing. Yeah.
I had this idea when I shifted to Sajapur. I had this idea like, okay, it's 1 hour. It doesn't matter. I'll just go drop him and pick him up.
Hey, I mean, suit yourself, knock yourself out.
Yes.
Until he knocks you out, by the way.
He is already doing that. As you rightly said, it's not all bad. He learns sometimes of all these words, and he picks up his language there. Even though he speaks all 3 languages now, but still he speaks English, many words. He uses many of those fancy words.
There you go.
Just seeing those cocomelon and all these things.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad, but it's that we have been told that screen is bad. Yes, of course they tend to, but sometimes they really test our patience.
Yeah.
We really do feel that he's of early morning getting up. Sometimes he has, Amma, can I see Chennai? He negotiates early morning. My anger went to peak, and I have to turn away from him and control. Like, okay, this is not how it's going to be today. Then I have to engage him. How much ever we engage him, at the end of the day, if he is not getting my attention, he wants to go back to that. That's what worries. I think probably
So it's also, we have to recognize another thing, Priya, Janani, Kokila, I mean, everyone, we are all coming out of a pandemic, right? The last 2 years has been something that most of us have not experienced. Not most of us, all of us have not experienced such 2 years, right? So, and each of us has dealt with it in a different way, right? So, let's be a little more empathetic, I would say, for their own experiences, and also question ourselves, like, am I stopping my child from doing something, right, that he or she wants to do? And is there something that I can change, that they might want to do something, and I might have either consciously or unconsciously sent a message that, no, this is not something that you should be doing, right? So is there some changes that I can make to that? And lots of stuff. So we are approaching 6:15. We can go on for another 10-15 minutes if you would like to continue the conversation. Otherwise, there's a bunch. This is like the 106th or 7th meetup, and there's at least 90 plus videos of recordings of various sessions that we have had. And feel free to go online and check out the website. We have recordings, links to the recordings. They're all on YouTube, and you can check that out anytime. And like I mentioned, you can sign up for a visit. You can also sign up for Aarohi anytime. May we are off. The campus is closed on May. In May, we will be back on campus in June, and online keeps going on. Some things are reduced, some things are on, but you will find community online. So finding community is not a problem. Open learning, we have about I think about 50 or so families which have signed up, and at least about 20 of them are active on online. So yeah. And the rest are not that they are not active, it's just that they're not actively seen on frequently seen on the online forum. Yeah, please go ahead, Goran.
Hi, I had just had a question. When you said, you have people signed up, how does that work and what does that include? And, what is the give? What is the take? How do we contribute? All that. If you could just,
Sure.
give us. Thank you.
Rekha, do you want to say I'll go get some water?
I'll give it a try.
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. Want to answer your question? You sign up as an online participant. Sorry, I did not get. Where are you from?
So I'm from a place called Darjeeling, up in the mountains, north of West Bengal.
Okay. This thing is protocol. How is you sign up for Aarohi X? You'll be given a orientation how to join, what is your what is the expectation from you as a family, all that, along with the financial contribution. And financial contribution, usually Aarohi has the concept called as apni khushi se do. It is it's not free. At the same time, there is no rules and regulations of, this is to be done this way only.
So we do not follow a fixed fees system. So everybody in the community contributes to the running of the community. So give whatever you please or pleases you. That's the principle that we follow. Yeah. Please go ahead, Rekha.
Correct me if I am wrong, Dvijit.
So not wrong.
Okay.
Totally
No,
not wrong.
or I miss out a few points. Okay. Financial is that way. And of course, when you join, after the orientation, you choose to join online community, you will be part of something called as Discord, which is a group platform where you share your learnings, others share their learnings, your doubts, your fears, everything. So you be involved in the community through the form of sharing. And
so the sharing is also in terms of what you're doing. So suppose I'm doing a project and I'm interested in doing a project, or I have just completed a project where I did, let's say I made a swing, or I built the latest telescope, or I don't know, maybe change the windows in my house, right? So anything that you do, or maybe I prepared a new dish, right? So anything that you do, you share. So it's about doing. Aarohi is all about doing things, whether as parents or as children, we really don't care. Everybody in Aarohi is doing something. That's the primary principle, and we share what we are doing, what we learn from our doing, what we couldn't do, what we were able to do, all the spectrum of things. So the idea is that you're not just contributing financially, but you are contributing your time, your learnings, and your energies, and participating in the community. So if somebody else is interested in that, they can ping you and say, hey, Bon uncle, I am interested in that thing that you did. Can you tell me how you got that, or how did you fix this, or all that. So that's how you join. That's what you get when you join, and that's what we get when you join. Yeah.
Yeah. So to visit Aarohi, we should register through that online.
Yes. So it's aarohi.org/visit. I'll just paste the link for that as well.
Okay.
And that's also, I guess I mentioned it already, but May we are off. So campus is closed. We'll be back in June, and you can just look up the visit page and you will see the calendar as well. So you can identify which week you want to visit, and yeah.
Okay.
So Borun, if somebody sees your profile picture, you will soon get requests for guitar classes and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Amit, Sakshi.
Yeah. We, like I told, we have a 9-month-old, and we were thinking of visiting in June. Do you think it'll be okay? I mean,
so I don't know your 9-month-old.
Yeah.
So I really can't comment whether it will be okay. What I would suggest, Amit, is visit the website. There are, in the visit page, there are a bunch of videos that will give you an idea of how the campus is, what's available on campus. We are not an AC, campus. We do not have air conditioners. I mean, we have an air conditioner, which is what nature offers. It's a lovely campus in the middle of pretty much nowhere. But there are a lot of buildings that are coming up in the neighborhood now. But it's still quite remote. It's a 5-acre plot on a hillside. And even in the peak summers, the afternoon hours, just like in Chandigarh, I remember, if I remember correctly, right? That's where you're from?
Correct.
Yeah. So Chandigarh is hot enough that we don't have to warn you about, Kelamangalam summers. And evenings, it is quite cool and pleasant. But it is a very basic campus, and we do not have a lot of the urban luxuries that many of us have gotten very used to. So do check out the website and make a call. I don't know if any slots are open for a June visit, by the way, because there are a lot of folks who are looking to visit. So just check out the calendar, drop a mail or sign up, and Leela or someone will get in touch with you to get you to an orientation, and then you can schedule your visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are obviously there would be. So you're saying June might already be full.
Maybe I haven't kept track. Please don't hold me to it. Don't let that discourage you from checking it out. But you do need to go through an orientation before you can schedule.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to make sure that we are on the same page, and you are not expecting something and then
And the orientation happens how frequently?
Every week, but I don't know if Leela is doing it during May.
Okay.
Not sure. Come say hi.
Okay.
So that's Ibania, my daughter. And she came to Bomb because her friend Ratnesh is around. Today Ratnesh is traveling. So
actually, I came to get something, not to bomb.
Fine. Go ahead. So yeah, Amit. So don't let that discourage you. Do check it out. Sign up on the visit page, and yeah. So I think I don't know if Leela is marking the orientation dates on the calendar. She used to do it on Thursdays. Anyway, you can find it online.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's still on Thursdays, but it will be sent through WhatsApp message. The link should be sent through WhatsApp or mail.
Yeah.
Once you register it.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions, thoughts, experiences that you would like to share?
Hi, it's been brilliant, actually. This is my first time, and I've really learned a lot. It's been a big eye-opener. I'm really inspired by what y'all are doing, and I'd love to come down and visit as a family. I'm planning towards the end of the year.
Okay.
And so I want to plan this out really well so that it works out. And I really look forward to, coming over there. But it's been brilliant. Thank you so much.
And you're welcome to join on any Saturdays that you're free, or if you would like to join Aarohi X, you're welcome to do that as well. And the idea of these meetups is not that we would like everybody to come join Aarohi. The idea of these meetups is that we would like everybody to be open learners. And actually, to be very frank, everybody to recognize that they are already open learners, right? Because it's not like what we are doing in life is something that we were educated to do, we were schooled to do, right? So we have learned as we live. And when we bring in certain methods into that madness, it makes our own life a lot easier, and that of our children as well. So, so the idea of open learning and the idea of these meetups is so that the fire of open learning can spread wider, right? And also, strengthen the various fires that are already burning, because the sense of community is very useful when we recognize that we are all social beings, right? However much we might be introverted, at a certain level, we do want others who are doing, or we do want to know, we do want to talk to others who are doing things similar to what I'm doing, right? So yeah. If there are any other questions, we can take that for a few more minutes.
Vijay, I would like to get in contact with you regarding the agriculture.
Sure.
It's good to see educated people supporting the farmers and getting them to know.
So you can, I'm just typing out my email address, and you can just send me a mail and we can connect online.
Oh, the millet on. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Cool. Anything else, folks? Rekha, anything to add?
No, Vijay. Nothing from my side.
Kokila, we didn't get to hear from you. So maybe before we close, we can get an introduction from you. Sorry.
Yeah, I came to know from a person from Chennai, Kanchana, I think her name is Kanchana. Yes. She took both of her children to your Aarohi, and she recommended, I was searching for a community like you, but my children are in regular schools.
Okay.
But even they are in regular schools, I would like to introduce them into this. Okay. I just want to know how they respond, because I never enforce them to do anything. Whatever they are doing until now is on their own interest. Lovely. Of course, I engage in the events what they are interested. Yeah, cool. So it's going on fine. Apart from all this, I like that the screen time and the gadgets time is the main thing which bothers me. And at the end of the day, and I like they are interested in book reading, but it is not regular.
Okay.
What I feel is book reading is it's a necessary thing.
Okay. Okay.
They should understand that.
Chennai?
Sorry?
Where do you live? Chennai?
Yeah, I'm in Salem.
Salem. Okay. Oh, yeah. Salem is a lot closer to campus than Chennai is.
Yes.
Yeah. We do have a couple of families from Erode, I think. At least one family from Erode. We had a few families from Salem also who are part of.
Yeah, from Salem, I think Nikita is.
Exactly. Nikita and I forgot his name. Sanjay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sanjay, I believe.
Actually, I don't know her personally. Actually, Nikita was is running a school here. Like
yep. And she's a lovely baker.
Yeah.
So
through my brother, I came to know her.
So plan a visit, Kokila, whenever you're free, and the calendar permits, as in the campus calendar, whenever you can find a slot. And feel free to explore online as well, and join us on Aarohi X if that's of interest to you. And yeah, so great. Thank you all. So this was like I said, every Saturday thing that we do. This is every Saturday thing that we do. Jesse, you've been very quiet today, but kind of running out of time. Do you want to close for the day, Jesse?
No, I don't have any questions because a lot of things are clear now. So I just need to apply for Aarohi X. I will be doing this next week. I was taking time because I was busy with the other.
Yeah, we will have an entrance exam for you, Jesse.
Okay. No problem.
No, we don't. By the way, sorry. I mean, let
No,
that
I
joke
was just
go.
kidding. I know.
Yeah. Great. Thank you all. Have a good weekend and see you all next Saturday or whenever you feel free and you want to ping us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You want to
Bye.
take this, remove it.